welcome to the Saturday because it's time for Ringside. Got a bunch of news topics to share, so without further ado, we're just gonna jump straight into it. Starting off with AEW, during an appearance on the Post-X WrestleNomics podcast, Dave Meltzer said the divisiveness within AEW is, quote, at a pretty bad point again after CM Punk's ESPN interview and return promo. Both sides apparently blame the other for not sticking with an agreement to keep their issues in-house. I don't necessarily know what he means by this, because I have no idea who he's talking about. It can't be the Bucks, because in the return promo, that's literally the only person that he took a jab at. And Collision seemed to go well. Nobody really seemed to hate Collision, right? I don't understand why you would feel any... Listen, I say this all the time, man. I say this all the time. You're already going to have an opinion about CM Punk. After reading the ESPN interview, it doesn't change. What is it going to change? Like, he didn't really say anything like new. If anything, he just cemented the fact that, well, this is how I feel, and this is what happened, and this is like my side of it. He didn't slag anyone off. He didn't say anything he wasn't supposed to, right? He's not getting in trouble for any, like, defamation or anything like that. I don't know what Dave is talking about here. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, man, I mean, it doesn't really seem like anything has really changed, and I haven't heard anything absolutely insane, so unless it comes out that, like, Punk, has caused, like, a genuine civil war between AEW and Collision for some strange reason, then there's not really much else I can say. Sticking with Meltzer, he mentioned that, quote, one of the top guys who was told he'd only have to, quote, deal with Punk at pay-per-views was on Dynamite last night along with Punk. He could be talking about anybody, to be totally honest with you. I mean... look, man, top guy is subjective. I don't care who you are. Top guy is subjective. Like, there are people who probably think AR Fox is the top guy. And are they wrong? I mean, that's your opinion, based on, like, how you feel about the person. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that your favorite wrestler sucks. If they're your favorite wrestler, they're your favorite wrestler. If I don't like them, that's no, like, what difference does it make to you? You know what I mean? Like, I can't really sit here and say anything in regards to that. The only top guys that I can think... Okay, so, we've got the BCC. We've got everybody in the BCC, right? Take those, lump them there. We've got everybody in the Elite, right? So, you got your Hangmans and all that. Adam Cole... MJF, Konosuke, who else? Darby's a top Jungle Boy. Like, there's Sammy Guevara. Is that what he's talking about? Like, there's a lot of top guys. And the fact that he didn't mention it is weird. So, I don't know, man. I understand. I fully understand where everybody's coming from when they talk about how Dave will sometimes say things that don't make a whole lot of sense. I'm also in that category as well. There's a lot of things that I say that really just, you know what I'm saying, right? Just go. That's why I constantly follow everything up with, all right, that's why I constantly follow up everything that I say with, do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I constantly do that. So, I don't know what he means by the top guys. I have no idea. So, I guess we just wait and see. I don't know who the top guy is, so there's literally nothing else I can say. Sticking with AEW, Kenta's rumored Forbidden Door match with CM Punk is off after, quote, Kenta expressed to NJPW and AEW that he wasn't doing the match, per Fightful Select. So, it just sounds like the match isn't happening. Kenta went on Twitter, and he was like, we're not doing the match is off. And by the time he said that, the match was already pretty much, like, scrapped. So far, I have no idea. Maybe I need to do a little bit more internet sleuthing, you know what I'm saying, and, like, figure it out for myself. But, I mean, so far, I haven't really heard anything, definitive on why exactly they did that. So, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't know, okay? The last two, I was confused about Dave and what was going on with him and his situation. But this in particular, like, I'm not 100% sure why they scrapped the match. CM Punk is in the Owen Hart tournament. But that doesn't seem like it's going to take place at Forbidden Door. Or maybe it is. I have to look at the picture again. But yeah, man, other than that, I mean, it's not happening. So hopefully one of them is at Forbidden Door. Hopefully one of them gets a match at least, So we'll have to wait and see. Moving back over to Fightful Select, Jeff Hardy will be taking time off from AEW for the next few weeks as he's unable to travel to Canada due to some of his past legal issues. There's not really much to say about that. All I can say is, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. And hopefully, I mean, I'm sure he is, right? But just for posterity's sake, hopefully he's, like, getting the help that he needs and he's, like, sticking with it and everything like that, And even if he is, like, taking a few steps back, you know what I mean? The hope is that, like, he's got a bunch of like support around him, that'll help him, move forward, take the multiple steps forward and everything. So, yeah, man, that's really all I can say. So, he's not going to be in Canada, and yeah, hopefully he'll have a bunch of different matches and potential storylines after the whole Canada dates are taken care of. Moving over to WWE, there have been ongoing talks within WWE about signing, quote, a certain tag team from New Japan and promoting someone from development to quote, join a certain group, according to BWE. The only tag team that I can think of from NJPW that they want to sign is GOD. And that's with Tama Tonga, and I don't know, man. I don't follow NJPW, but I know it's those two, and I know that those two. Don't ask me about like the bloodline and who's related to who, and the cousin and the nephew and the nieces and all that. I have no idea. So I know that they are in some way related, right? I don't particularly know where they stand. You know what I'm saying? Like in the bloodline, family tree, ancestry.com thing. I don't know, but those are probably the most likely candidates from NJPW. Now, developmental, I was thinking about this, and I was like, developmental can mean three things. It can mean NXT, which is not the case anymore because they want it to be a third brand. NXT Level Up, and if that's the case, I have no idea who's going to be on that because I don't watch NXT Level Up. And the actual developmental, like, performance center type deal, and if that's the case, I genuinely have no idea. So, the only person that I can, like, pull out of my, magical hat of thoughts is Ilya Dragunov, but that's been mentioned so many times that it's kind of weird that they're not mentioning him in this. So that removes him from the equation. At least to me, it removes him from the equation. So if it's not Ilya Dragunov, I have no idea who it could be. So we're just gonna, honestly, at this point, it's up in the air, right? We don't necessarily know what's gonna happen with them, right? And if it's gonna happen, because anything could happen. They could offer them a contract and they could be like, no, you know what I'm saying? So we just got to wait to see exactly what happens. And, if both of them or one of them actually ends up going through and the other one just sort of like fades into the background, so we'll just have to wait and see. Finally, Sony had Mercedes Moné circled for an unspecified role in Bad Bunny's planned Spider-Man universe film, El Muerto, according to The Hollywood Reporter. It's a moot point right now, though, as the movie has been taken off the studio's schedule while the writers are on strike. So there's not really much to say about this. No, there is a little bit to say about this, mainly because Mercedes Moné has been making the rounds, not just with NJPW, but mainly just we're gonna, like, not even the wrestling world, like Seth Rollins, you know what I'm saying? And, recently Seth Rollins. I was trying to think of somebody else, but I really couldn't, to be totally honest with you. But those are like the two most recent ones. And if there's any more, then feel free to let me know. But they've definitely been going around. They've been doing fantastic in the wrestling world and in the Hollywood world. I don't really know what, like, movie world, I guess. They've definitely been slowly, right? Not like they haven't been in like super, high-end blockbuster films, but they've definitely been like, digging their feet in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It kind of sucks that like this didn't really go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And the writer strike, I don't even want to touch that, but just the fact that like she was circled, you know what I mean, definitely says a lot about her, and I'm sure Seth Rollins and a bunch of other wrestlers have a bunch of other different like movie roles, and not even maybe like TV roles and stuff like that. So hearing something like this, I don't know, when you look at Mercedes Moné and like a bunch of like LA Knight, you know what I mean, like if you told me that LA Knight was getting like TV deals and movie deals and stuff like that, I'd be like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like you can just tell just by looking at it, you know what I mean? So again, this isn't really like a huge surprise. It sucks that it's not going to happen, but you know what? That is because of a whole different situation that me personally, I'm just not going to touch. What do we talk about? I don't know what he means by divisiveness. I keep reading it as diversiveness for some strange. I can't read. At a pretty bad point again. Both sides apparently blame the other. I don't know what he's talking about. Mainly because I haven't read anything. Maybe that's my problem. I don't know how to read, so maybe I'm just completely missing out on something. I don't 100% know, to be totally honest with you. Maybe there is something going on, and maybe it's behind the scenes, because, if you compared me to Dave Meltzer, I'm chopped liver, he's the one who could walk up into the stadium and be like, flash the badge, and right this way, sir. You know what I'm saying? So, he probably knows more than me. One of the top guys. That could be literally anybody, man. That could be anybody. I have no idea who that could be. Have to deal with Punk again. I don't know what that means. All right, listen, okay, that sounds like a situation. The Forbidden Door match with Kenta and Punk, that's not happening. Fine, as long as it isn't anything like bad, like one of them's injured, you know what I'm saying, or it's not like a money issue, like as long as it's not anything like, what's the word, like bad, just bad, and like in like a bad way. I know that doesn't make any sense, but as long as it's not like just no one's health, there's no risk. As long as there's no risk and the match just got axed, then it just happens, then okay, you know, there's nothing I can say. Hardy's gonna take some time off. He can't go to Canada. That's fair. I assume, I don't want to say, I don't know. I don't want to say Forbidden Door because I don't think that that's 100% true that Forbidden Door is going to be taking place in Canada. So, I mean, I assume that they're probably going to be doing a couple Canadian dates in the foreseeable future, and Hardy's not going to be able to make that. So, well, I mean, you know, what can you do? Ongoing talks. It might be GOD. Maybe. It might be GOD. It could be someone completely different. I have no idea. I just know that it's a certain tag team, and they're promoting somebody from developmental. It's Nadia Dragunov. Again, it literally could be anybody. Like, there's so many different people in New Japan, and there's so many different people in developmental, right? And, I mean, listen, I have no idea, okay? And Mercedes Moné, she was circled for an unspecified role, but the fact that she was circled definitely says a lot about her ability, right? In front of the camera, you know? And again, you know, just going off of like just wrestlers who are like destined to be behind the movie screen in general, like it makes a whole lot of sense that they would definitely pencil in Mercedes Moné for that role. So, folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs all around.